planning your next camping trip, today we're gonna go over the top 10 mistakes that beginners make while camping. Hey y'all, my name is Juliana, and my goal is to be your travel guide today. So if you like videos like this, you already know what to do. But make sure you stay until the end because we're gonna go over things that you really don't want to miss. Number 1, not testing your gear prior to your trip. A lot of people make the mistake of waiting until the day prior to the trip or when they are already on the trail to open up their gear and test it out. But this is a huge mistake because a lot of things that are essential to grant a successful trip need to be tested. It is crucial to know if you have all the pieces and if you know how to assemble each gear, such as your tent, your sleeping pad, your sleeping pillow, just to make sure you're all set. And make sure that there are no leaks, holes, or damages to any of your items. Imagine flying all the way to another state, renting a car, getting to your campground, or worse, hiking all the way up to the back country, and you're going to set up your camp and you find out that you're missing a tent pole or your sleeping pad has a hole in it. So you don't want to do that. Also, try to get familiar with packing and unpacking all of your gear so you're not figuring that out in the middle of the wilderness, because you need to figure out what is the most efficient way to pack all of your gear. And I think the best way to do that is from the comfort of your house. So make sure that you're familiar with all of your gear and that everything is working properly. Number 2, not organizing your gear. It is very frustrating to get to your camping spot and have to dig around your bag or your car to find where each gear is located. Just make sure you organize it well so you know where each item goes. Try to make categories and place each category in a different compartment of your bag so you know where everything is located. For example, kitchen gear or your sleeping gear, electronics. Just make sure you put everything stored together so you know where everything's at. Having a checklist can also be very helpful just to make sure you're not missing anything. I'm also going to link in the description a checklist that I use for a camping trip. Number 3, not checking the weather. Make sure you check the weather and the conditions of the place you're going before your trip so you can pack accordingly. You should check things like temperature, the highs and lows, if it's gonna rain or snow. All of that is very important. Different weather calls for different gear, so being ready for precipitation or different temperatures is very important. Number 4, not bringing the right clothes. This tip goes along with our last tip about the weather. You will want to be prepared for the type of weather you're gonna be in. If you're hiking in the summer, make sure you bring breathable and comfortable clothes. If you're going during winter, make sure you bring clothes that are gonna keep you warm and dry. And be prepared for the rain, even if it's not on the forecast. It's never a bad idea to have a rain jacket with you. Would you rather have it and not need it, or need it and not have it? So I always bring my rain jacket with me regardless of the weather report. Number 5, not picking the right campground. This tip goes more for backpackers than someone that is gonna stay at a campground. Picking the right campsite can be very difficult for beginners because there's not a clear spot for you to set up camp, especially in the backcountry. But when you think you found a good spot to set up camp, make sure you look in the area surrounding you. Look for dead trees or branches that could fall for the trees, any rocks, anything that could put you in danger, especially while you're sleeping. You also want to look around for any signs that animals have been in that area. If you see signs of wolves, bears, recently in that area, maybe you want to find a different spot to set up camp. You also want to set up your tent on level ground if you can find it. I know this seems like a lot, but the rangers in the parks can also help you out. They're very knowledgeable and you can ask them where are the best spots to set up camp, and they can guide you through the spots that other campers have stayed before and the best areas for you in that day or that season. Number 6, arriving to your camp spot too late. Whether you are at a campground or backcountry camping, make sure you arrive earlier than sunset. You really don't want to set up camp while it's dark outside, especially if it's your first camping trip and you're still figuring out all your gear. You don't want to do that. And what makes it worse is that depending on the time that you arrive, it can be very disrespectful to other campers on that campground for you to be making a lot of noise and arriving, setting up stuff, and they're just trying to sleep. We would always have our camp set up 1 hour before sunset, so we didn't have to worry about it and we didn't have to set up anything while it was dark. Number 7, not asking the rangers the right questions. This tip will go with the backpackers picking the right campsite. When you go to pick up your permit, you want to ask the rangers all the questions. You want to ask about the water situation on that trail, if any part of the trail is closed, if there was any wildlife spotted recently, where's the best campsite for you to set up camp. All those questions are very important, especially if you are new to that trail and you're not very familiar with the area. Also, make sure to ask if there are any special rules, especially about waste, where you can camp, how far from the river, or altitude, anything, just ask the rangers. These questions will give you a good guidance throughout your trip. That will make sure that you're bringing enough water depending on the water situation. It will make sure that you're very aware of your surroundings in case of a wildlife spotted recently. It will make sure that you know where you're gonna set up camp, or at least be aware of places that you could set your tent and sleep. And also, it's just gonna give you a better knowledge about the area that you're hiking. Number 8, leaving the tent door open. It's easy to leave the tent door open when you want to grab something quick outside, whether it's from your car or just something that was outside your tent. But in the meantime, animals and bugs can go inside your tent, and then you don't want to find that out later when you get back in. Getting bit by bugs or having small animals inside your tent sounds like an awful idea, especially when you're trying to go to sleep. So it's best for you to just close the tent door whenever you exit or whenever you enter your tent at all times. Number 9 is going to be cooking near your camp spot. When you cook your food, the smells might be blown away by the wind, and if the animals catch that scent, by the time that they get to that spot, you're gonna be already at your camp spot. But if your camp spot is right where you cooked, they're gonna be led there, and you don't want to be sleeping while animals are finding your camp spot because they smelled your food. Number 10, leaving food out. On the same note as the last mistake, don't leave any food out. Always gather your trash and keep it with you, and if you are in bear country, you have to keep all your scented items and your trash inside your bear canister, and try to put that away from your campground as well. Just make sure that if a bear does find the bear canister, they're not gonna be inside your tent or nearby. It's gonna be a little far away and they're gonna deal with that. So make sure you put everything that is scented, chapstick, sunscreen, perfume, food, everything inside that bear canister. And if you want to know a little bit more about our camping trips, I'm gonna leave right here our national parks playlist. It was great hanging out with you guys today, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!